this is Mitch with Mass. If you like this content, please make sure you like and subscribe. Tell a few friends to have them tell a few friends. And we'd really appreciate a comment or two as well. Doesn't take any time, a couple seconds, and we appreciate it. Have a great week.
All right, welcome back to Middle Age Still Single, the podcast. Super excited this week. One of the few things that we're all passionate about. Now, we all have a lot of things in common, but one of the things that we are all passionate about is the NFL. So today we are starting out one of our two NFL previews. We're starting out with the AFC, and we're going to see how well we can prognosticate what's happening in the AFC. Nemo can't be here today, but I have Nas. How are you, sir? Mitch?
Lovely.
How are you?
Good to be here. Always good to be here.
All right. Now, are we ready for some football?
Are you?
Yeah, about time, man.
It is about time. All right. All right. Mitch, you're up first, brother. AFC East. What's going on in AFC East?
You know what's really interesting about this? I'm going to start with the sources I use because I'm going to be spitting out some information throughout this. And I want you to know that I did my research and I'm just not coming off of this is not all opinion and feelings. So I used Sports Daily, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, Sportsnet, and ESPN. So some of the things you're going to hear from me, you're welcome to argue with, but some of this is opinion, some of it is backed up. AFC East, I found it to be interesting. They were fourth last year as far as the top divisions in the AFC, or actually in the NFL. And this year, all four divisions of the AFC are in the top five of all the NFL picks of the divisions this year. So the AFC is what we're going to be, most people are going to be watching is what they say. So for the East, I've got Buffalo handily winning that division. They've got a lot going for them, coming off of a really solid year. And I think I can't even remember his name right now. The quarterback,
Josh Allen,
is. Thank you very much. I didn't put it in my notes. Josh Allen is going to
research, boy.
He's going to learn from his mistakes last year. Everyone's pretty much stayed in place. They increased. I want to say. It was either the offensive line or defensive line. If he gets more protection, great. If it was the defensive line, they were already a feared defense. So Buffalo wins out, and I think Miami comes in second if Tua can stay healthy. If he can stay healthy and they can protect him, I think he can get back into the swing of things and get his timing down. I think the Jets are going to finish above the Patriots. Yes, I said it. Last year was the Patriots' first losing year in 20 seasons, and look for them to have a second losing year. Jets in third.
They still made the playoffs last year, didn't they? I think they still crept into the playoffs, though.
Patriots?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They got killed in the first round of the playoffs. Killed. By Buffalo, actually, I think, too. I think they beat them in the first round.
My notes say last year was the first losing season they had in 20 years. I don't know how they made the playoffs. Okay. And I don't remember them being in the playoffs.
But you can make it with like a...
Yeah, it has happened. You're right.
That division,
You're
right. You can make it with a losing record. Yeah.
All right, Nas, your take on the AFC East.
I agree that the Bills are probably the runaway favorite in that division. I mean, they're just a loaded team, man. I mean, offensive line, quarterback. Let's start the quarterback. Like, who's better than that guy? I mean, there's a couple of guys you can say that's close to him, right? But I disagree, man. I think that the Patriots are going to be second. I just do not think that there's any way that the greatest football coach ever is going to go out with a second year in a row with the losing season, man. I think the Dolphins and the Jets do what they do. The Dolphins are in a disarray because they fired a pretty good coach, man, and they still have issues in house about that. They still got all kinds of turmoil in their house, man. So I think they'll be behind the Jets in that division, man. But I like everything about the Bills. I can't find a hole in that team, man. It's scary. It's scary how good they are. But it's the Bills.
Okay. so right.
They can be
right if you remember that, if you're old enough.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. They can have everything they need, and still something's going to happen. It's just the way the Bills are. How many times did they go to the Super Bowl?
4 times.
in
4
a row.
times.
Yeah, in a row.
Only team to ever do that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
lost
lost.
all 4.
Yeah.
All 4.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
they were
that's
stacked
just
then.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
Unbelievable.
I'm one of those people that I want to root for the team that's happened to. I want them to win it, because when you have it's very rare to make teams like this, man.
Yeah.
You know, and for them to not get it all, like, it's just, I don't even care about the city of Buffalo. I'm just talking about just like the guys on the team. Like, you're on a good team.
Yeah.
And then you lose. And he was in epic battles last year, you know, like with some of the greatest young quarterbacks out there. And he stood toe to toe, man. You know,
He won a lot of low scoring games. Not low scoring, low differential games.
Right.
Kansas City just has their number, I think, man. Kansas City took their heart again. 13 seconds. 13 seconds.
Unbelievable.
I mean, you
number one offense last year was
with
KC.
an alien.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that dude's an alien, man. So you got to have the right weapons in place and the right chief.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Kansas City a little later on, but any other thoughts on the AFC East, Nas?
Nah.
Okay, so I really, really, really didn't want to pick the Buffalo Bills. I swear I did not. I kept trying to find ways not to pick them. Like, sustained success, the amount that Josh Allen runs, not having a definite second receiver out there that, there's a kid out there, I want to say his name is Gabe Davis. It's supposed to be, is getting a lot of talk, but sustained success is really so hard to do in this league. And to be able to do it, without any of your major pieces getting injured is tough. But I can't pick anybody else besides Buffalo, even though I tried. The Dolphins, I think the Dolphins are going to do something this year, man. I really do. I think Tyreek Hill is a freak, right? Is that the dude? Is that the freak you were talking about? Tyreek Hill being a Dolphin, I think is going to be a huge asset for them. I think he's going to be Tua's best friend. I think by the end of the year, Tua should be buying him jewelry, cars. He should be doing everything he can for Tyreek Hill, because Tyreek Hill is going to actually make him an NFL quarterback. They've got a lot of weapons, good running game, improving defense. Yeah, I thought it was janky, to say the least, what they did to Flores, the coach. And then the lawsuit where they were trying to tank, or they were tampering. So there's a lot of drama going on there. But I think their new coach, who comes from the 49ers, is going to really help them out, man. I think he's really going to help as far as maybe add 3 or 4 more games to their win title. And I only say that because I think New England and the Jets are both trash. So I think New England will have a slightly better record than the Jets, but I don't think they'll even be close to 500. I think this is going to be the year New England finally, is a crappy team.
Come back down to earth.
Yeah, I think they win something like 18 years in a row, something like that, by winning that division, which is ridiculous.
They won the division 20 years. 20 years
which
in
is
a row.
unheard of, which is like in any sport. But anyway, I think this is the year they finally come down to earth. I think Mac Jones is a little overhyped. They still don't have a decent wide receiver, even though, between their wide receivers and their tight ends, they spend more money on receivers than any other team. Found that out this week. So I think between them and the Jets, they'll probably be 3rd and 4th. I'll pick New England slightly over the Jets. I think the Jets with 6 or 7 wins is be about right for them, which would be actually a good season for them. As being from New York, I really want them to succeed, but their quarterback is already hurt. They don't know what's going on with him. He's got a little knee thing going on, even though he's got a lot of weapons. Their big tackle that they drafted, he's like some behemoth, 380-pound Mekhi Becton. He's hurt. He's out for the year. So I think that team is cursed. I think the Jets are cursed. So for me, Bills, Dolphins, New England, and just slightly over the Jets, and both of them not even being near 500. All right, Mitch, you're
I
up.
think the Dolphins are cursed.
What's that?
I think the Dolphins are cursed too.
Okay.
I think Tyreek Hill's wheels are going to slow down.
Dude, that brother's an alien right there, man.
No, I'm tripping on that. He is what he is, but I just think that I want to see the Dolphins succeed because I see them the same way I see the Bills. Yeah. Like they have good teams, and then they just don't. It just doesn't work out for them, right? But anyway, I don't want to drag that out. But I don't know, man. It's like you see this ragged ass star guy right here. Yeah. I gotta see it happen. I got you. You understand?
Tyreek Hill's one of those players. He's the intangible. He makes the entire team better, and it'll bring the morale up. So I think that's why I had him in second, because I really think that he's going to make Tua look better, and maybe with some timing. Yeah.
I think
we'll see.
I hope I'm
fun
wrong.
of this.
I think they'll be a little closer to Buffalo than most people think, but they won't catch it. All right, Mitch. AFC North. What do you got?
AFC North. Here we come. I'll list the four in the order I've got, and I'll go a little bit into it. So I've got the Bengals repeating as division winners. I have Baltimore and Pittsburgh as either one of them could go. I mean, I think either one of them could take second. I like Pittsburgh's defense, but they've got an unproven quarterback this year. And I'm just not sure what he can bring.
Who, the Steelers?
They don't have a quarterback yet.
Steelers.
They haven't picked one yet. Yeah.
Yeah. That's unproven, right? Yeah. We don't even know who's been called the starter yet. Okay. Baltimore's getting Lamar Jackson back, which is going to be great for Baltimore. That's why I've got Baltimore edging out Pittsburgh, because I think he's an intangible. I think he makes things happen. He also throws the ball away. But if he can get some protection, he's super dangerous. I mean, ridiculously dangerous. So, and then I've got Cleveland back to the dog pound, like they were, 4 or 5 years ago, and the last 20 years after that, because I think the home office, or not, the front office, absolutely destroyed the morale in the locker room. I don't think the coaches are behind it, but I don't think that anyone on that team is behind that team right now. If you were friends with Baker, you're furious. If you were friends with the coaches, now you don't feel like you have a chance to win, because you just paid someone a lot of money to not play. And you don't even know if he's going to get to play, because there's still some things to work out with that. So I think the front office made really bad choices and has probably split the team or lost the team morally. And I don't think they recover. They're dead last, and I don't even think it'll be close. What's interesting about Cincinnati is they were the number 6 best offense last year. I think they improve this year and get into the top 5. And I don't think Baltimore, Pittsburgh, or Cleveland can match Joe Burrow. He was the comeback player of the year last year. Just shocked everybody. But he turned out to be the guy everyone thought he was, and I think he has a follow-up year.
All right. I'm going to disagree with you a little later, Mitch. I'll tell you in a second.
Sure. I'm about to disagree with him right now.
Go ahead, bro.
Let's hear it. Give it to me.
Okay. First of all, Cleveland is a college team, right? And they got college people in the front office, man. Like guys that, my analogy is not working. So let me just go straight to the point of what I'm trying to make. Nobody is mad at the front office for getting rid of Baker. Baker was never good, man. He was a journeyman quarterback the minute they paid him for all that money, right? He was a journeyman. Okay. They should be mad at the NFL for what they did to their new top 5 quarterback. That's what they should be mad about, the fans, not about the front office, because that guy was going to turn that franchise around. You went out and got a true number 1 wide receiver, which they haven't had since they got rid of what's his name that went to LA?
Oh, OBJ.
OBJ. They didn't have a number one after that. A guy that was that was taking the roof off, right? So now they went and got a number one. They took him from the Cowboys, and you was going to have one of the top 5 best quarterbacks. These young guys don't have nothing on Deshaun Watson. The boy with the Bengals, the boy with the Bills. They're not as good as him. Okay. So the Browns, in this particular case, I'm not as upset with them as I am with the NFL, because this man has has not been convicted of any crime, and they punish him for 11 games because of what women said. And I think that is a very gynocentric, simpish attitude, towards men. It's just a sign of the times, man. And I feel sorry for Cleveland, because they were going to have a good year. They were going to beat the Bengals. There's no way they were going to be able to. There was no way that the Bengals would have been able to beat the Browns with Deshaun Watson. No way. And so I'm off my soapbox on that one. I got the Ravens over the Bengals, man. I got the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Browns.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to disagree with both of you a little bit there. Now, I got the same exact order as Nas. I got the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Browns. I think Lamar comes back on fire this year. I think his running backs are there. They led the league in injuries last year, and I think that hopefully is not going to happen twice in a row. So I think Lamar is going to have a great year this year, especially if he doesn't get paid yet. I'm not sure what he's planning on doing, but he's still trying to get paid. He hasn't played in any preseason games. I'm not sure if he's practicing or not now, but I think he has a big year. I think he makes that next move and gets pretty close to being back in his MVP form there. I just can't see the Bengals doing it again, man. Like, people that lose in Super Bowl never do well the next year. That Super Bowl hangover is rough, and it's a real thing. Like, to me, they weren't the best team in the AFC last year, even though they won. Like, but I think they were just kind of in the right place at the right time, and things fell their way. So I don't think they're as good as what they looked last year. I think they're still a decent team, but and I love Jamar Chase, and I love their wide receivers and their running backs, but I think Joe Burrow comes back down to earth a little bit this year. I really do. I think he looks a little more like Joe Normal than Joe Montana next year. All right, so let's talk about the Browns thing here. Let me talk about what you said, Mitch. Like, I don't think anybody's crying for Baker Mayfield, bro. Really, to be honest with you. Like, nobody came out in his defense. Like, none of those players came.
He had no friends in that locker room.
No, man. Like, dude, the whole time they were rooting for OBJ in that matter. Like, dude, nobody came out. And then even Cleveland Browns, like, they went out shopping for a quarterback, man. That's like, you're married and you're going to tell your wife, hey, listen, I'm going to go out and find me a better wife, and you just hang out here, right? That's what they did. They didn't respect him. They talked about they wanted an adult in the room. So he must have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way to really give up on a overall first overall draft pick. So, I think he was kind of a dick. He must have been a dickhead. And really, like, I still haven't heard not one guy come out and really defend him. So, I think as far as football is concerned, I think they made the right move. Now, listen, I understand the whole he wasn't convicted, and that's not what he's being punished for, but he's being punished for hurting the shield, right? So
what?
Oh, dude, he hurt the reputation of the shield. Like, yeah, dude.
I'm gonna let you.
Okay, finish. Go ahead, man. So he did damage the reputation of the shield. I think women make up a growing part of the NFL viewership these days, and it hasn't always been that way, but they're catching a lot of flack, and really, just really negative feedback from a lot of people. Like, if you watch, early morning ESPN or Fox Sports, they're getting killed. The PR is getting killed. Deshaun Watson is a predator. He acted in a predatory manner. According to the judge, what he did actually did constitute sexual assault. Nonviolent sexual assault, but still sexual assault. So I think they had to levy some kind of punishment against him. To me, some people were crying for a year. I thought 10 or 11 would have been okay. I just think that they don't recover. The Browns don't recover from that. Enough to make a run at the playoffs. So I think Deshaun is a great quarterback, and I understand why Cleveland did it. It sets them up for the next 10 years with one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I just think, he did some things that he wasn't supposed to do, and he's got to pay the price for it. Even though he wasn't convicted, but we all know just because you're not convicted don't mean you didn't do it. All right, but he
27 times where there's smoke, there's fire.
He did damage the shield a little bit. Go ahead, Naz. I know you're waiting to get on that one, bro. Go ahead, man.
Oh yeah,
I think Mitch wants to say something.
Well, going back to the Baker situation, I was not trying to imply, and I don't know where you got this from, that the locker room loved him. But
you said everybody was up in arms.
Hang on. I said the locker room's pissed off at the front office because they got rid of Baker and went with a guy who hasn't won, doesn't have a winning record like Baker does. But because it brought all this turmoil on. Now Baker is the winningest quarterback Cleveland has had in 20 years.
So that's not saying anything.
And it was the first quarterback to bring him.
That's not saying anything, bro.
All I'm saying is he was the first quarterback to take him to the playoffs.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And so you've got people on that team. You've got guys on that team who don't have to like him. They just have to like winning. And all I said was, I think that the team's more upset with the way the front office handled it. I'm not saying they love Baker. I'm not saying they like Deshaun any better. I'm just saying it was handled so poorly that the morale in that locker room, if it's bad at all, it's not because of Baker. It's because of the front office handling of a situation. I think they handled it poorly. So there's no love there. I've heard all the stories about Baker being a dick and getting all the press and these great commercials that he had. But yeah, it's the front office that I think the team will have a problem with.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing with the Shield, man, there have been so many guys in the NFL that have done things that were actually proven in the court. They didn't destroy the Shield. Let's talk about the guy up in New England, the guy who's an owner.
Yeah, you're right.
He's supposed to be held to a high standard.
You're right.
They know he did what he was accused of. They know it.
Right.
He didn't destroy the Shield. Okay. And the thing about it being, sometimes you don't get convicted if you're guilty, but you're not convicted. Not us. If you are found, if there's a small amount of evidence, that's your behind. If your skin is brown, and this is the fact. So what I'm saying is there couldn't have been enough information for them to do anything, the judge to do anything, because the judge would have done it. And what I'm saying is all the information that has come out, let's widen the lens a little bit. Trey Songz, a lawyer, was willing to pay a woman $200,000 to say Trey Songz raped her. Okay. There was the R. Kelly, the guy said, I want to make Trey Songz the next R. Kelly. How do we know all these women that came out against him were not offered something? I'm always going to go against the corporate entity because I know they have more power. And they're messing with this man's life and his money over an accusation that wasn't proven in the court of law. If the court of law doesn't matter, why do we have it? And it only matters when it doesn't matter to the corporate entities that are involved. So the owner of the New England Patriots can do it, but he's valuable in the NFL, right? Deshaun Watson is just another black quarterback. That's it. And everybody is looking at him like, well, he shouldn't have done it. And they calling him names at the football games. And the NFL didn't even come out and say anything about it. You had a whole bunch of white people out there calling him trash. And he was found innocent. And I'm saying this double standard is trash. And that's why I say I'm going somewhere that this is not what's supposed to go. But this American culture and I don't like to use the word fair, but it's not equitable. And we know it, and we just pretend like, well, that's what it is. No, it's not what it is. Deshaun Watson is a human being. And let me ask you guys this. How did he get these women? Did he rape? Did he pull them? Did he grab them by the hair and pull them in with him? No, he didn't. Some of them, he said, I might have got a little bit more aggressive with, but it wasn't rape. He wasn't charged with rape. Now they're going to ruin this, and they're going to ruin the whole franchise career, year behind this man. I just don't like the NFL's, the way they do things, man. It's garbage. They know it. Everybody knows it, but it's such a great game. It ain't shit you can do about it. Now I'm off my soapbox.
So number one, I'd like to rebuke. White people are not the only people screaming at Deshaun Watson. Okay.
No.
In that video, they were all white.
You've got
in that
football,
video, they were all white.
You got football fans all over the country screaming about Deshaun Watson. Number two, didn't he settle out of court 24 of those cases?
24.
So when you say he's innocent, I haven't seen a finished court case where there's been a guilty or an innocent finale. All I've seen is payouts and dismissals. So I don't know.
So we're going to pretend like rich people don't pay the stuff.
What I'm saying is, you said he was innocent, and I haven't seen anything go through the court of law that says he's innocent. I've only seen 24 payoffs.
He's guilty, though, right?
I don't know. We haven't finished.
But you're talking like he's guilty.
I'm saying, don't put words in my mouth. I'm saying he made 24 payoffs in order to not go to court, and then 3 of them are still going to court, and then somewhere, and I didn't flag it, he apologized for being a distraction to the NFL because of his inappropriate behavior. Very vague, but he actually made an apology. So he feels bad about something.
Listen, just because he's
I never put words in people's mouths, so don't ever tell me that. I have enough words. You have enough words. I didn't put any words in his mouth. What I said was the video that I was referring to, it was all white people yelling he was trash. We don't yell people are trash. You think with a whole bunch of black people would have been up there saying, you are trash. You are trash. No, we would have been calling him something else. And you're taking offense because I said it's all white people, but let's not pretend like that stuff doesn't happen, because you know it does. You hang around 3
when
black
you
dudes
said
all
all white
time.
people, you didn't reference a video until after I brought it back up.
There were all these white people in the stands. That's what I said. Yelling these things at him, and the NFL never said anything. Now, maybe I shouldn't have said all white people. I should have said great Americans.
Should have said fans.
Yeah.
They weren't his fans.
No, they're not his fans anymore.
No, they definitely weren't his fans.
So that's all I'm saying. And all I'm saying is I'm never going to be on the side of the corporate entity that takes advantage of the little guy. I'm just not going to do it, especially when I see how things go, man. We can't pretend like, okay, I'm not trying to say that the man is innocent in the sense of he didn't do anything at all. What I'm saying is that we know that across the board, shit happens, nothing happens to certain people.
Same thing across America. Yeah, I can't disagree with that, Nas. And it happens in every industry across America.
And let me say this. I'm not just saying it's a black thing. What I am saying is it's a power thing. Mm-hmm. They had the power to do it, so they did it. And it's this whole culture of toxicity of men. This is another example of it, right? When have women ever mattered to the NFL? But now all of a sudden they do.
Ray Rice, they mattered then. They came out and drove.
Ray Rice got to play though.
No, not after that though. Not after
that.
Ray Rice,
he got a 4-game suspension.
Isn't Ray Rice
women came out of the
in the Hall of Fame
no,
or going
and
to?
NFL stopped it.
Y'all don't think he's going to the Hall of Fame?
Not even close, brother. He wasn't that good of a running back. He was good for a couple of years, but But you know what?
Oh, Ray Rice. I'm thinking about Ray Lewis.
No. Yeah, Ray Lewis is. If he's not already in there, he'll be in there first ballot.
He's going, yeah.
But even
absolutely.
the Ray Rice thing, Ray Rice was never convicted of anything, right? He was never convicted of
something. Yeah, but we saw it.
Yeah.
We saw it.
And according,
so there's evidence that it happened.
But
you know why reason why he got away with it is because he didn't lie about it. That's the only reason the judge did that.
But now, listen,
gave him the punishment.
Listen. According to the collective bargaining agreement that the Players Association signed, you don't have to be convicted to be punished. Well,
I know it, but why does the collective bargaining agreement say that?
Listen, that's what,
talk to the negotiators. Yeah, that's a great question. But the only the negotiators who created that are the CBA are going to be able to answer.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm on my defense attorney box right now.
Can we move on to the AFC South, man, before we get up?
No, I think we ran out of time, Rob.
You can probably cut all that shit out.
We're gonna let it roll. We're gonna let it roll. Absolutely. It's a discussion. It's three middle-aged men discussing the world, man. All right,
I like hearing different sides.
Let's talk to the AFC South. What you got, Mitch?
All right, AFC South. We got. I didn't write down what happened last year. So I see Tennessee finishing. I believe they won last year, and I see them taking the division again this year. Although I think, it's kind of a trash division. I see Jacksonville and Houston rounding out the bottom there. I've got notes here. Jacksonville, they've lost 29 of the last 32 regular season games. That doesn't seem right, but I wrote it right off of my notes. So
that's about right, actually.
Houston's, I think, won more games than that, but I think Jacksonville, I've got Jacksonville here in third for some reason. I must have read something about Houston where they're just not going to do anything. They've always had a team that you think can get to at least 500, and they just lose all the close games. It seemed like to me last year. They lost the 1, 2, and 3-point games every week, and then they just couldn't put anything together. But I've got Tennessee winning. I think it going away. I think Indianapolis they made some good acquisitions, and they could possibly take first, but I've got them coming in second, maybe by a game. But we'll see. So Tennessee, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Houston. I don't see it being a very exciting conference this year.
Not a great conference, no. Nas?
Yeah, I'm with Mitch on everything he said, man. It's a very, very difficult division to even talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, they are. I mean, you thought the Colts were headed somewhere, right? And then the Titans just kind of did a Titan thing on them, So I don't know, man. I mean, how did you have it? I think I'm gonna go with the Titans, Colts, Jaguars, and Texans.
That's exactly how I had it. I just found something I wanted to throw in there. The Colts, for those listening, and to my two friends here, the Colts finished second in total takeaways last year, and they still didn't make the playoffs. And that usually goes hand in hand. So it's interesting.
Yeah. If you take the ball away,
I'm going to give you two words for why they didn't make the playoffs last year. Carson Wentz. All right.
First name and last name?
Yeah, that's it. Two words. Carson Wentz. That's the reason why they didn't make the playoffs this year. Listen, I think the Colts they're going to be a surprise team this year. I think they got a good quarterback. Matt Ryan finally got set free from Atlanta. So I got the Colts. I got the Jags coming in a distant second, but second. I think this is the year Ryan Tannehill just goes to pot, man. We really find out what he's about, man. No more lead receiver. AJ Brown is gone. And all they really have is Derrick Henry. So I think he's going to see a lot of 8 in the box. Really stacking just to stop Derrick Henry. Yeah. I think they struggle this year, man. And the Texans I'm sure they're tanking because they've got probably the worst roster in the league. So I think the Colts win this division by about maybe 3 or 4 games.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
All right, here we go, fellas. This is it. The AFC West. the best
This is the one.
division in football, according to most. Mitchell, who you got, man?
Yes. Was it last year? I got. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't have my notes, but KC had the number one offense last year, and I don't know that they're going to stay number one with the loss of Tyreek Hill. He is the intangible. He makes the 6 and 8 yard out turn into an 80-yard touchdown. The guy,
that boy making sense, y'all.
Wow, that guy is he just turns on the afterburners and he looks like an F-14, right? Taking off from a aircraft carrier. Guy's just fun to watch, and I'm looking forward to seeing him and see what he could do for Miami. Just because I like watching him play. You know, yeah, I'm a 49er fan, but I'm also a fan of individual players. And he's one of the guys that's he's so explosive. It's fun to watch. So KC wins the division, but not handily this year like they have been. I think, from what I read, that the LA Chargers actually put up some decent numbers this year. If KC wins by more than 2 games, I'll be surprised. They've improved on both sides of the ball. They've got a promising young quarterback. My sources, what I was reading, they all gave him big time props as far as throwing percentage, strength of his arm, good mobility. So I have the Chargers in second. I have Denver coming in third. I don't think Russell by himself can turn that team around, but he is an intangible like some of these other guys, like a Tyreek Hill. You'd never know what he can make happen out of nowhere. So I think he still has a lot of talent, and I think the Raiders come in last. I don't think by far. Honestly, I think Denver and LV will kind of compete for third. I don't really see a last place team in the West, just because I think Denver and LV might end up with the same record at the end of the season. But that's the way I see it, gentlemen. I see Kansas City, Chargers, Denver, and Las Vegas.
All right, Nas, what you got, bro?
Hey, Mitch.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mitch. Check this out, bro. All right.
Is that a rating?
Man.
It's 1 star. Is that a rating?
Yeah.
That's okay. Oh, good. I like that. I'm a little slow on that one. I got you, Mitch. Man, this is a great division, man, and I'm gonna go with my heart, man, instead of my head, man. I'm going with the Raiders.
Okay.
I'm going with the Raiders,
fun.
man.
I like it.
I think the Raiders are due, man, for a breakout year, man. I think they went out, they built their team right this year. They got rid of their retarded coach. I think they got a solid guy, you know. I think their quarterback is as good as any of these other young quarterbacks out here. I just think that he's always been in a kind of schizophrenic front office that doesn't really always give him everything he needs and puts everything on him. But I think this year he's got some players, man. He's got some wide receivers. He's got a good running back. Defense yet to be seen, but I think that the Raiders are not going to be in last place, man. I think the Chiefs are going to do what they do. I just think that they have their defense is. Did they do anything on special on defense? I don't know, but it's going to take a lot for you to keep up with them. But I think you can. Other teams have shown that you can if you can. And like Mitch said, they got rid of their missile, right?
Yeah.
He's the only thing that once he got behind you, that was it. Yeah. Well, now you got to do he's got to just throw passes where the guy can get hit and stopped, right? So I think that's going to make them, it's going to bring them not down to earth, but in the atmosphere. You know, I think that they can be beat by some of these teams, man. But I still have them 1. I got the Raiders 2. And the Chargers and the Broncos for me are very similar in the way I feel about them right now. but I think I'm going to go with the Chargers ahead of them. So I got Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos.
Here's just a fun fact, Rob, before you get started. KC was the number one offense last year. Mm-hmm. And obviously I brought up that without Tyreek, they won't repeat. But they were not on the top 10 defenses. Mm-hmm. So in what Nos was saying and having a question about it, there it is. They're not even a top 10 defense. So yeah, I see that.
And I don't think they did enough, Mitch, in the offseason, man,
I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm going to go with the Chiefs, man. I think they did enough. I like a couple of their additions. Juju Smith-Schuster is a nice little pickup. They picked up the second wide receiver from Green Bay last year, MVS, Marcus Valdez-Scantling. And then they have a couple of other rookies that are really good. So I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to spread the ball around a little bit more, and I think that'll help them. The defense is, they say it's improving, but we'll see. But I just think that he's the best quarterback in that division, and if they're all pretty close, which I think all of these guys are pretty close, you got to go with the best quarterback. I think number two, I think Broncos sneak up on some people. I think they got quite a bit. They had a really nice defense last year. They add Russ. The difference between Russ and the quarterbacks that they had last year is going to be huge. I think they lost one of their wide receivers through injury. He's out for the season. But I think they have enough left over. A couple good tight ends, some really good running backs. The two running backs are really solid. I think Denver's going to surprise some people. I think Russ really shows how valuable he is this year. So I'm hoping for that. And I think the Raiders and the Chargers are going to be about even. And I think I'm always the guy to go against the hype, right? I think Justin Herbert is just I think he's just a little too hyped up right now. I think, they're already talking about comparing him to Elway and Brady, and like, come on, man, the guy's played like 2 seasons and hasn't even made the playoffs yet. Like, cut that shit out. What the hell are you doing?
They got to sell ads.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they stack though. They have a really good team, some good running backs, 2 really good wide receivers. But I just think overall, I don't like their coach. I think that's going to hurt them.
I don't like their coach.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit too much into the John Madden football, like going on 4th down and stuff like that. I don't know where he's getting his analytics from. But I think he made some serious mistakes. I think he's holding the team back. But I think overall, I think the Raiders may even go beat the Chargers. I'm probably the only one around that thinks the Chargers are going to come in last. I think they're going to come in last. I think they'll still have a good record, but I think they'll come in last in that division. All right.
Yeah, I think the Raiders will beat them.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's our divisions. What do we got for wild? Let's get to the wild cards, and just for the sake of time, so give me your 3 wild cards and who wins, who goes to the Super Bowl in this conference. Mitch,
I have the because I have them coming in second. I have the Chargers actually going to the wild card. I have them to be the surprise wild card. I think he is a little overhyped as far as Herbert as a young quarterback, but I think he's put up enough numbers that people are behind him that they see something that maybe not being a coach I don't see. But all of my sources that I used for research said some really good things about him. Technically, mentally, he's super sharp, they say, and so that's why I had him in second. That and the improvements on both sides of the ball. I see the Chargers being one of the wild cards. And it came down to the Baltimore-Pittsburgh, where I said either one of them could go. But I had Baltimore going in second, so I chose Baltimore as one of my wild cards. And my other wild card would be Indianapolis.
And who represents the AFC, Mitch?
I think Cincinnati repeats. I think it's the first time we see a repeat in a long time.
Okay. All right. Nas, what you got, brother?
I think the Raiders, wild card. I think, even though I got the Ravens ahead of the Bengals, I don't know, man. Joe Burrow, man, he's Seems like he just has something, man. I think the Bengals are a wild card. I don't think anybody comes out of the South, man. I mean, do they have to have somebody out of East?
So the wild cards, no.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think anybody comes out of the South, man. As far as who you said Super Bowl?
Yeah, who goes to the Super Bowl from the AFC?
I'm going with the Bills, man.
Okay, that seems to be the common thing.
Bills, man.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick an all AFC West. Everybody from the AFC West going to the playoffs. I think it's really hard to find three better teams than them who aren't going to win the division. So I think the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chargers all make it to the playoffs, the wild card. And I got the Ravens. You guys, I was really, really, really trying to go with the Colts, man. That was going to be my surprise pick. I was going to be controversial, but the more I think about the Ravens and with the better coach and John Harbaugh and Lamar being an MVP, I think he'll be MVP this year. I think they pull this out, man. I think the Ravens are the team, man.
I ain't mad at that.
All right, gentlemen, listen. We have to do this again next week. We'll be ready for the NFC. Let's hopefully there are no felons in the NFC that we have to talk about. All right, or attempted or alleged felons. All right, but anyway,
hey, we're gonna get me hyped.
Yeah, man. All right, gentlemen. See you guys next week.